Why are you wearing those anyways?
Well, in this really totally awesome new studio with these great bright lights reflecting off of, round objects, it helps me keep the glare down.
Round objects. Are you talking about my head again?
Well, I've been told not to be so direct in insulting you, but that could be inferred.
Wow, that's a little harsh. So the first thing you do after having a long sabbatical off the radio is make fun of the guys sitting in for you. That's awesome.
You've been
John.
sitting in for me.
And apparently he doesn't listen to his own show. So.
Well, it is great to be here. We have got a fantastic new guest. I'm going to tell you, just one of my favorite human beings, one of my favorite veterans. I'm really excited that Tim's able to join us today. But before we get to that, I do want to just touch base on a couple of Purple Heart Homes happenings that we got going on.
Oh, yeah.
We've got an upcoming event at the 500 Club.
Well, we have two. So which one are you getting to first?
The new 500 Club. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, the new 500 Club, it's had a couple of names, but I think it was Foxton, then it was Larkin, but they have put some money into this wonderful golf course, and when I went there, I didn't even recognize it. I mean, it's beautiful. And so we've partnered with them this upcoming Saturday, the 13th, for dinner. 10% of all the proceeds are going to go to Purple Heart Homes. So come out there, support
wait a minute,
us.
Is that the 14th or the 13th?
That's Saturday. I believe.
April the 13th. And so by purchasing an entree and enjoying live music while you're at this really cool new club, man, there's so much new great things happening right here in our own backyard. I'm just so excited about it. But a portion of the food and the beverages, the proceeds will be coming to Purple Heart Homes. And so by going out and having a good time there with your family and enjoying your friends and our community, you'll be able to support a veteran at the same time.
And I mean, not that this is probably going to help anything, but I'll be there.
I'm sure that it will help. I'm sure that it will help.
But let's not forget about the other pretty awesome thing that's happening at the 500 Club on the following Friday,
the
19th. We're going to have a amazing golf game, golf tournament there. And while I do believe all the slots for golfing is full, we are still looking for a few sponsors. So if you are interested in some last minute sponsorship, hey, give us a holler, phhusa.org. We'd love to have you just come out there and support the guys.
Devin, while you've been picking on me about taking a sabbatical and not being on the show, I have been out working and raising money and meeting the great Americans that are supporting all of our veterans and our projects across the country. Purple Heart Homes has over 60 projects currently going on all around the country. We just completed another one in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
A tremendous amount of need down there. And if you're listening, you can get involved and you can support a veteran too. Again, just go to that website, www.phhusa.org, and you can figure out how you can get involved. And of course, follow us on social media online, and you can watch all of Devin's fun and shenanigans that he puts out.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they want to see that. But you know who they do want to see is our guest on the camera right now, or listen to in their ears. We've got a wonderful guest today, Timothy Ngo, who is an Army veteran and just extremely all-around great guy. Hey, Tim, you wanna say hi to our audience?
Thank you guys for having me on. It's been a long time coming, and I see someone's head in the camera.
Well, we can't see the camera, so I don't even know what you're saying.
But no, thank you guys very much for having me on the show. You guys actually just got done doing a job on my house last year. New roof, patio, windows. Amazing organization that you guys have to help veterans like myself.
Well, it's always an honor to help veterans just like you. And speaking of which, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about where you're from and how you became a U.S. Army soldier?
Well, I was born in Temple, Texas, moved up to Minnesota in 91 just in time for the blizzard. Never seen snow in my life until then. Um, my great uncle was in the Vietnam War. Had it not been for him, 3 generations of my family wouldn't be in the United States. So wanting to like carry the torch, I joined the military because he told me about the brotherhood and the bonds that he had created throughout the years that he served. And growing up as a single child, not really having that camaraderie, it's something that I wanted, and I could see myself getting that while being in the military.
Yeah, that is one of the things that always like appealed to me as well. That camaraderie, that brotherhood, and I can understand that attraction. So you wanted that camaraderie, so you went into the Army. And what MOS did you end up choosing? What job?
Hang on, Tim. Before you answer that, part of what Devin asked you before is, how you ended up being in the Army and becoming a veteran. And I just want to say, unlike the Marines there, Devin, he decided he wanted to be all he could be. And so he joined the Army.
Well, and also the thing is, I joined before 9/11. I joined a month before.
No kidding. So you joined, and then you're in boot camp probably when you're hearing about 9/11,
No,
right?
Nope, I was still in high school. I was a senior in high school.
Oh, you did their early enlistment.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Oh, for those of you who are wondering where that voice came from, Brad Borders
Magic.
is joining us in the studio a little late from Veterans Treatment Court.
A little bit late.
welcome
We
to
had
the
a
show,
lot to
Brad.
cover today.
A lot going on.
A lot going on today.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, Tim, just so thrilled. We got just about a minute left before we cut the break. You alluded to Purple Heart Homes helping with your house. Tell us a little bit about the project and what we did out there.
Well, you guys gave me a new roof, which is something that my house really needed. Replaced the windows upstairs because, well, I would get about an inch and a half of ice on the inside of my windows, and it would thaw, black mold. So I'd have to go up there and spray it with bleach water. I needed a new patio because the back patio was rotting away. So I didn't have really any stairs.
Hey, Tim, let's put a plug in that right now. We're going to roll the break here from our amazing sponsors, and you're listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together. We'll be right back with Tim Ngo, outstanding human being, an Army soldier, and great American. And so,
you're being cut off. Like, there's you're
well,
talking to nobody.
he's doing this. So
1059
No.
100.7 WSIC.
I thought he was doing this.
I could already hear the advertiser talking.
I couldn't hear that. I couldn't hear that. I could not hear that. Joe was doing this, which means to me,
Wrap it up.
well, see, that's not what it means. This hand signal to me means keep it going.
I thought that meant
Oh,
Yeah.
that means eating soup.
So I need to
Well,
clarify.
what does this
my-
one mean?
That means whoopee.
What does this one mean?
That means put your finger down there.
Oh man.
So,
all right. So tell us.
did they not teach y'all hand signal communications?
Yeah.
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 This means rally. This means rally point here.
Yeah. But I never did it in broadcast.
This means wrap it up.
No, I didn't get that.
Wrap it up.
That-
Yeah.
Nobody said wrap it up in the Army.
Well, I know they did that on Seinfeld. You watch a lot of Seinfeld.
So Tim,
Keep it going.
two things
That's
here.
not
Number
keep
one,
it going.
the studio has had some changes.
That means keep
we're
it
getting
going.
used to that. Number two, this is my first time being back in studio in about 3 months, and
Been a
so
minute.
so I'm causing a little commotion here, and
That's
obviously making Devin a little nervous.
Well, Devin's always
Which
nervous.
it might have had to do when he walked into my pre-meeting when me and Lisa were in here talking to Justin. As soon as he walked in, I was like, "Well, we'll wait and fire Devin next week."
Yeah, man, that was a little harsh.
poor Devin.
Yeah, man.
Poor
I'm sorry,
Devin.
I thought they were going to do that after my vacation, but no, they're just going to.
Vacation's been canceled.
Nobody told you.
So Timothy, how's things?
I'm just wondering when John got a beard, nice and full with that camo hat on.
Oh, that's not me. That's
No, I know.
Oh.
Oh, gotcha.
So we're playing merry-go-round of names right now. Is it?
Yep.
Oh no, what's that? Musical chairs. It's the musical chairs of name tags.
Oh, there you
Musical
go.
chairs.
Yeah.
I will say that I am really liking that new sporty looking hat there.
Brand new,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, brand new.
Brand new.
Camouflage. Looks like you're ready
Southern
to go
Distilling.
hunting. Leather front. I mean,
Southern
first
Distilling,
class.
man.
They
We
give that
gotta
to you?
we gotta represent the sponsors.
Yeah.
I tell you, they're
good
great
folks.
sponsors. They're doing some really cool stuff. And how about they got a cruise in they're getting ready to have?
I saw that on
Yeah.
Facebook.
I forget the dates, but I believe it's coming up in May.
The cruise in at Southern Distilling.
Yes.
I don't know.
I
I didn't
saw it
see
on
that. I
Facebook
saw the
today. I
one
didn't
Pete was
remember what the
doing
day.
about the Race Across America again. They're sponsoring it this year.
Race across America.
Yep. It's sort of like the Gumball Rally or something. Right?
All right, Tim, we're getting ready to go back into the show, and we'll just pick up where we left off, brother.
Now, more Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
So, Tim, you were telling us before we cut over to break in the first segment about the work that Purple Heart Homes had done there at your home and the roof replacement, some mold mitigation, a back deck you were talking about. How did that make you feel? I know it was a long process getting there, but tell us what that meant to you.
Freedom. Like I've been just surviving for the past 20 years, not really thriving and doing things to actually better myself. And now that I actually am taking those steps to better myself, I'm paying my debt off and everything, but it's just after that's paid off, I would have had to worry about creating more debt to fix my roof, to fix my patio, to fix my windows. But just to have you guys come out and do this for me, it took a lot of weight off my shoulders because I know I've messed up in the past. It's my responsibility to take care of, but organizations like you guys coming out and offering this for someone who is just wanting to carry the torch for his great uncle and having the opportunity to have me receive something like that, I'm thankful for meeting Dale back in 2015.
That's right. And we certainly miss him. I know you do too. You know, I want to just kind of back up a little bit in your story. So you enlisted just before 9/11. You're in the
Yes.
split option program. You went back and you did your basic training, finished your
No.
high school.
No, I joined when I was a senior in high school. I was still 17.
You were delayed entry program.
Yep. I was
okay.
delayed entry program.
And
And
then you ultimately deployed. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when I got to Fort Hood, end of 03, found out that we were going to be deployed. So I was only at Fort Hood from December to March. So only a couple months before being deployed. So I had a short time to get to know the guys to my left and right. It was a tough time. It was a tough time.
Yeah. and you didn't have such an easy deployment either. And
No.
So you're at Fort Hood. You were in a mechanized infantry unit, if I remember right.
Correct. I was infantry. We just open up the back of the Bradley and I jump out, and now we're walking. We're not in the Bradleys. We're bullet sponges. So
Mm.
And where were you deployed to?
Baghdad, Iraq.
And you said that was in 2000 and
2004, March of 2004, we deployed to Baghdad. Um, had our firefights here and there, leading up to the actual day that changed a lot of people's lives. Um, I don't know if you guys want me to go into that, or you
you
guys want
know
me to wait.
Tim, I know you do a lot of interviews and have told your story a number of
Okay.
times. So yeah, I'd like for you just to share with our listeners about your story and how you were injured and
Well,
what
we
that day looked like.
we were. It was August 5th, 2004. We were on a foot patrol. We were undermanned. That was the one thing that I wasn't really easy with. Shops were closing down, and for the people who don't know about the things to look for when you're in a combat zone, is for shops closing early, streets becoming bare. Um, that was happening.
No kids,
Yeah.
no kids
Yeah,
running around.
no kids on the streets, and it was before lunch, and we all told the lieutenant that, hey, something's about to happen. Oh, we'll just go around this corner. I had switched with Specialist Smith because I had the M249 Bravo, the saw, and he had an M16, and it would be better to have the machine gun in the rear of the formation. We switch, and this is the part that goes blank for me, but I guess a grenade landed between his legs, and I pushed him out of the way of it, taking the blast. Um, Laid out on the ground from that blast, a second grenade was thrown, and it was a few feet away from the left side of my skull. The explosion shattered the left side of my skull. Um, I'll take my headphones off. I won't be able to hear you guys, but the explosion shattered the left side of my skull. Um, I I ended up standing up, wiping my forehead, thinking that I was sweating pretty bad because, well, a lot of gunfire was going on, and I thought that I had been doing a lot of fighting, but I see my hand covered in blood, and I just decided to just lay down.
Wow.
And my team leader, Staff Sergeant Terry Prater, he comes and he starts pulling me from the back of my flak vest to safety, and I'm out. Like, I don't recall anything, but I come to and he's dragging me, and I roll over and I pull rear security because I didn't want anybody to get hurt like me. Um, that's when the third grenade was thrown, and my team leader, I don't know how he did it, adrenaline or something, but he pulled me with one hand behind him, and his flak vest and his chest, his face were peppered with shrapnel from the grenade. Um, they pulled me into the shop. The Humvee showed up, and I thought that, you know, safety, it's done, it's over with. Uh, a fourth grenade was thrown as they were putting me in the back of the Humvees, and Sergeant Prater shielded me from that blast. I don't I don't really recall much after that besides opening my eyes and just the world being red. It wasn't normal. I had to have 6 open head surgeries. Um, I had to learn how to walk, talk, everything. Like right now, sitting here, being able to talk to you guys, that's something that I had to relearn to do.
Mm.
And I had to wear this
Yeah, so for those that can't see, there's like a makeshift football helmet that Tim had to wear to protect his head while it was healing. It's like silver or clear almost, and
Yep,
it's got
it's
back
clear.
from Iraq and letters on the side of it. Got U.S.
Yeah.
Army on the back of it. That's
Honestly, it's pretty cool
It's
looking,
pretty
Tim.
cool looking.
yeah.
It reminds me of those.
I'd
like,
wear that.
Reminds me of those old 30s and 40s football helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Looks like
does.
it.
Like
Yeah,
the
that's it.
no face mask. Like
Yeah.
remember
Like
Joe
the George
Theismann?
Clooney.
He used to
Oh,
wear
yeah.
the one bar, but he didn't. But that, yeah. So how long did you have to wear that helmet like that? How long was that?
I came back to Minnesota while I was waiting for Walter Reed to call me to come back to have my plate put in. But being around like Walter Reed, people they see injured veterans and everything, and
Oh, yeah.
injured soldiers and everything walking around. But when you come to a place like, for example, Minnesota, 20 years ago, people just saw
Yeah.
me walking around with the helmet, nothing on the side, just it was bare.
Oh,
People pointed and laughed. And that's what took me so long to finally realize, you know what? Who's gonna laugh now?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Put some stickers on it.
yeah.
Or you
a-
could have
a-
put a picture like there's that one episode of Seinfeld where Kramer just wore a motorcycle helmet around for no reason. He didn't have a motorcycle. And then Crazy Joe Davola kicked him in the head with it.
do you bring everything back to Seinfeld?
Yeah, because
Brad?
Seinfeld is like,
we
that's
hear
the,
a heartfelt story.
The center of the universe.
No
Yeah.
soup for you. No soup
Yeah.
for you.
See?
Very
We're
nice.
going,
See?
we're going back to
See?
Tim. Let's
Yeah.
stay focused here. We got about a minute and a half
Yeah.
left before the next break. Tim, I just want to say a couple things. Number one, from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you for your service. You know,
Yeah, for
just,
sure.
just
Absolutely.
truly, just heart wrenching. I know there's so much more to your story, and
Oh,
look
yeah.
forward to hearing more of that when we come back from this next break. But for the listeners, not everybody has that visible injury. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at Tim on the screen here, and you look normal, right? You're to me, you're still the same brother that I would have served alongside with, and nothing's changed. And I know you play golf, and you're relatively active, and you support other causes, and so you're making sure that there's nobody left behind, and so it's
No.
just commendable, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you want to catch this content later on, you can download the WSIC app on the iOS store and the Google Play. You can listen to all of the shows that WSIC has on. So go out and get that app. So we'll be back right after this break
I
and
promise
hear
there'll
more
be-
of Tim Ngo.
There'll be none of John singing on the app.
That'd be lovely. Thank you, John.
There's more Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, grab the rain gear and
You know what I was noticing? So Tim's got better mics than we do. He's got a better mic than we do. You
Yeah,
know
what's that
Thing
about?
is
That
not-
looks
Well,
like
then what is
so
the deal?
professional.
I'm not kidding you. You seen this? You see this?
It's a better setup.
Thank you.
So
Right.
I
Not
used
necessarily
to,
a better microphone, but a better setup. Is what
Well,
Yeah.
I used to stream on Twitch for many years, but I don't do that anymore. But
I just
this
twitch.
is, this is a
Yeah.
streaming mic
That's
that I
awesome.
used to use.
It is crystal clear.
Yeah.
I mean, dude. I mean, he sounds like an NPR host.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's got an NPR. He's got an NPR feel. You know,
Well,
when he's
I've
talking to
I've
us.
been on a couple of NPR radio
Yeah.
broadcasts.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've been
Yeah.
on NPR.
Yeah.
That's, you know, Brad's going to be jealous because Brad's always
It's
talking
my dream.
about NPR.
It's my
yeah.
dream to be on an NPR show, like a
You know, maybe
a quilting show or something.
what if we were
be the
syndicated to
to be the
NPR? We
host?
should work on that, getting syndicated over
To be
there.
the host.
well, from like Saturday
I
Night
just
Live,
want to be
the
on. I
Pete
just want.
Sweaty.
Yeah,
and-
Pete Sweaty from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
and be like one of
The
the,
Christmas
hosts of a show
episode.
like that.
the Christmas episode. Yes,
Yes.
I'm
Oh, those are lovely.
I'm not even sure if that's well. We're not on the radio right
No, we're
this
not.
second. I
We
was
could
gonna
actually
say,
do.
that's not radio
We
safe
could
to
actually
talk about.
reenact that if you wanted
No.
to.
We're
So
not.
before
We're
we just start
not.
reenacting, are we not still Facebook Live? during the
That's
break?
what I
are.
said. We
Yeah,
are.
No reenacting,
We are.
guys. No reenacting.
Yeah. Yeah, we know how sometimes people get in trouble for doing stuff on Facebook Live.
Yeah, they do.
That has happened before.
And
I'm not going to name
You
names.
have to take it down.
I
Or
don't.
point fingers.
Can you think of a specific situation?
I
Brad?
think
can.
that, hey, so how are y'all doing?
Yeah.
John has
See
his
no
glasses
evil,
on.
hear
Very
no
nice.
evil,
There you
turn
go.
right down.
He's got his glasses on. It's
Oh
good to go.
man.
So Tim, how's things going for you out in Minnesota? What was that alarm going off earlier?
Oh, so they're doing let me see, I Googled it. Let's see. Severe Weather Awareness Week in Minnesota and Wisconsin from April 8th to the 12th. So on today, when you were hearing the sirens going off, they were just testing them.
I mean, those are some loud sirens to hear them all the way here in Statesville.
You know they can hear me in Minnesota.
I'm sure. No doubt.
Without the parabolic mics.
That's right. Oh man, I've actually been contracted by the local government just to make that noise whenever we have a storm. But,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they give me a call first, and I just.
They give you a call and you give them a squawk.
That's right.
Squawking Devin.
Oh, good Lord.
You've missed me, haven't you, Devin? Admit it. You've missed me.
I'm not going to miss it. Admit that on a recording. It's maybe.
I'm telling you, I'm
Awful
making,
Klimt,
I'm
man.
making
He is-
nervous.
He is awful Klimt, man. He's over there.
And
He's got
I even told him I was just joking about the firing thing.
Oh,
maybe.
He might have some trust issues.
I was really just joking.
There may be some of those there. I don't know why I would have
issues
that.
there. I love looking at Devin with his headphones on because one of them is up here in his eye.
Yeah,
And
and
neither one of them are on his ear.
No, he does it like
Yeah.
this. I don't know why. Because his ears get sweaty, is what he said.
They-
Speaking of sweaty, let's
do
go
get
back to that
No,
NPR skit.
let's not.
Oh,
Y'all are too much.
Oh
He's
my
sweaty.
gosh. So Tim, during that next break, why don't you do us a favor and think of a story that may be funny, but you can't tell on the radio, and that way our Facebook listeners have something to
Do we
listen
have a
to
funny-
or look forward to.
is there a funny story that can be told on the radio too?
Oh, yeah,
which is always good.
Those are great too. Yeah,
We
yeah,
like
yeah.
both guys.
We do. Just depending on what order they're in.
Well, one that I could tell that
We're
I
about
think
to
would
be back on air, muting microphones. Here we go.
Hang on one second, Tim.
Okay.
Must be Bloomberg Radio.
Call now to speak with John Gallina and Brad Borders at 844-STUDIO-4. It's Putting the Pieces Back Together on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together. We're ready to go with Timothy Ngo.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
I
you
like that.
Yeah,
Very
I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
that's the only thing I can do right here is like the intros and the yeah. That's about it.
Aw, that's nice.
His Facebook name is No Tim.
No Tim. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking for him on Facebook and I couldn't find him.
It's No Tim.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's fantastic.
well, he's been a great guest, and then for those of you who are just joining us, you've got to go back and catch the episode and
Where would they
listen
do
to-
that, Devin?
Well, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. WSIC does have an app now, and you can catch all those things there. There's a variable cornucopia.
Cornucopia.
A cornucopia.
Were you
of-
looking for the word plethora? Was that what you were looking for? Because it sounded like you were looking for that word.
It was, but then you
Cornucopia is
looked
good.
at me, and
Yeah.
then
And
I
I-
got nervous again.
Well, you know,
and then
plethora
it's,
was the name of my punk band back in
It wasn't.
1983. So.
So, for some true stories, let's get back to Timothy Ngo.
So Tim, while these guys are not hilarious, I understand you might have a funny story that you'd like to share with us.
Well, so I like I said previously, I joined right after high school, so I didn't have my driver's license. I had my permit. So then when I got stationed at Fort Hood, I had never driven like my own vehicle ever. So having a driver's license while in the military and getting a ticket, I don't know if I'm going to get an Article 15 or if I'm going to get my keys taken from me and I have extra duty or anything. Bro, I'm serious. I didn't know what was going to happen.
You
So
thought
I was scared. I was scared to tell my team leader, and I got my speeding ticket on post. I forget the name of the road, but I was going 5 miles over the speed limit, and an MP pulls me over and says, I'm going to give you a speeding ticket. You don't need to be rushing back to the barracks. You're on post. You don't need to be driving so fast. So, okay. So I got the ticket, and I'm like, what do I tell my team leader? He's going to take my keys. I'm going to be stuck at the barracks because I decided to go too fast. Now, Sergeant Terry Prater, he's from Tennessee, so he's got that Southern accent. I can't do it for the life of me. But he just said some colorful words and said, "No, go stop speeding. Who are you, Speedy Gonzalez?" I'm not going to say the colorful words because that's not radio appropriate. But no, it's just I always think of that moment. If I'm ever in a moment where I'm down and out, I just think of his voice, and that reminds me, you know what? It's not that bad.
Yeah,
That's right.
So the guy who called you Speedy Gonzalez is also the guy who saved your life. So that's pretty good.
Correct.
Pretty good guy to have around. You
I
know,
didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
that.
keep
You
you
know,
straight and keep you out of trouble.
I like his story about a driver's license in the military a lot better than mine. I remember when the drill sergeant asked us if anybody had any driver's license. You know, I raised my hand. I had my driver's license, and they gave me a wheelbarrow and a shovel.
Oh yeah. You thought you were going to get ready to go somewhere.
Yeah, here, drive
You're
this.
like, he's going to give me a truck to drive, and you got a wheelbarrow
Oh
and a
yeah.
shovel.
I was like,
Congratulations, Galina.
smart, too smart.
From what I hear from your fellow National Guardsmen, you might have deserved both that wheelbarrow and the shovel. Probably a pickaxe too.
Hey, look. All I know is I like volunteering.
Oh,
Is that what it was?
oh
All
my
right.
gosh.
So Tim, let's get back to your story. You're in Iraq. The fifth grenade goes off. You kind of fourth grenade goes off. You kind of fast forward a little bit, but there's a little more to the story there.
Yeah.
You mind sharing more with us?
My return, it wasn't like that picture perfect return, you know, the soldier getting off the plane and the family running up and welcoming them home. Mine was waking up in the hospital, not knowing where I was. It was hard. And then coming back to Minnesota and having people point and laugh at me, it kind of set in stone like what I did for the past 20 years, and that was honor my team leader, the one who saved my life, honor my great uncle who served in the Vietnam War, telling people to thank him rather than me. I never took my injury as seriously. I normalized my injury to myself because I had to get used to telling my story before I was even whole. And when I say whole, I mean my plate
Yeah,
was
right.
put in. I didn't have to wear the helmet. I was still in the military, and I had to explain why my head was like this to people that I served. So it's just that was my struggle. And now that I'm finally working on myself, I realize, you know what? I don't need to tell my story all the time. I need to work on myself. I need to put myself first. And that's something that people fail to see. When you get out of the military, you can't just go and get a job. the structure of the military and civilian world is so different. You show up drunk to formation, there's going to be a punishment. You show up drunk to work, I'll just go home.
It unfortunately is that way nowadays, and I think that's one of the things that we always struggle with coming out of the military, no matter what branch you were in. That transition where there was so much accountability to where there seems to be virtually none in the civilian world today.
Yeah.
And so I completely understand that sentiment, and that must have been a real struggle. What led you to being able to deal with that transition?
After I had found out that my team leader had passed away and his family paid for me to go down to his funeral, the treadway that I had made after I had gotten back, and I had to do all these interviews and everything with newspaper companies, local news and everything. I used all that to honor my team leader, but Teed Up for the Troops actually reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to participate in one of their golf tournaments, because they had been following my story from back in 2004, and I got out in 2006. Well, my stepdad, he taught me how to play golf when I was 13, and I figured, you know what? It'll get me out of the house. It's something that I haven't done in a while, and that was the best decision that I made, because then I was able to meet all these other nonprofit organizations like Purple Heart Homes, Creative Vets, Salute Military Golf Association. And once I got those people in my corner, I stuck with them. I didn't travel outside of that. That was my comfort zone, and I stayed in that, and I didn't do anything else. I would just sit here in front of my computer. I would stream for hours, and I would go to golf tournaments, and that was my comfort zone. I thought that I was doing what was best for me. And I don't take back the past 20 years since I've been out. Everything happens for a reason. And me sitting here right now, being on this podcast, this is helping me, because I'm getting my story out there on a bigger platform than what I could do on my own.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, your people lack the understanding of the courage it takes to be vulnerable and to be able to work on yourself. And just so proud of you. I've known you for so many years now, and know Dale thought the world of you. And in fact, there's a story of him giving you the shirt off of his back.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. We're going to cut the break, but I just am really, really glad to have you on the show, and appreciate your service, and just can't tell you that enough. And so we're going to go to a break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Keep it right here. Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders will return after these messages on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Hey, Tim, what's your handicap?
I have no idea. I dressed the part.
Yep.
Ask anybody on Tee It Up about my attire.
What's the best round of golf? What's the best round of golf you ever shot?
Now he's played with Garrett before, so I think you've won a couple, right? Hadn't you played with
everybody that plays with Garrett wins?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
No, that's no joke. That dude can play golf.
No, I actually don't think I've ever played with Garrett. I've been wanting to play with Garrett.
Oh, okay. We'll make that happen. Garrett loves playing
Tim,
golf.
you coming down? Oh, by the way, for those watching on Facebook, we got a
fundraisers.
golf tournament happening next Friday. Yeah, you can come out. All the slots are filled, unfortunately.
We talked about that when you were.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. What was that like in the first 5 minutes of the show?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I heard the skid marks sliding in sideways in the background, and the gravel hitting the building. And
I was wondering what that noise was. I didn't know.
Tammy was driving.
Man, lucky no MP saw you. You know, you got a ticket
Well, when
there.
it comes to driving, I'm way faster than he.
He calls me my dad. He said,
Uh,
you
Better
drive
calling
like
you-
your
Better than
dad.
calling you Papa.
It's not far away.
How old are you? So,
Yeah, she'll go, how old are
yeah,
you?
we're going 30.
What? I'm just enjoying the ride. Why are we in a hurry?
Tim, let's plan on, we send a team down to tee it up for the troops reunion tournament every year, and I think you said that was coming up in January.
Yes.
If it works for your schedule, then we'll make sure you're on the team with Garrett.
Okay, all right, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I know Garrett would love that. He had, once you made your application when you guys saw each other a couple years ago, he followed up with me. I felt like weekly.
Oh
So,
yeah, he and I would always talk.
Hey, who's Glenn Roberts?
That's actually a guy that I
He said your handicap was plus 40.
yeah.
Now, wait a minute.
That's what he said.
Plus 40?
40 plus.
I thought it was supposed to be minus.
Well,
No, all right. So let's see how far we're out. 175. Who gets closer, Roberts?
yeah, there you go.
Who's buying the shots? I got pictures. He's one
Oh
of the
my
guys that I
gosh.
brought out to the reunion.
He said, Glenn said, that's my dog.
Yeah, no, we were at the reunion. I forget what hole it was, and I
Tim,
said,
we're
I
gonna-
bet you I can get it closer.
We're getting ready to go back live.
Stand by, buddy.
Okay.
Download the WSIC News app today.
Now, back to putting the pieces back together with your hosts, John Gallina and Brad Borders on 1059 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together. You're listening to Brad Borders, and John Gallina has returned as a
Devil Dog Devin.
oh man. I don't think anybody cares about Devil Dog Devin, but you know who they do care about?
Tim, no.
Timothy, no.
That's right. Wait, that's my line. Are you
No,
still
Tim.
on my line?
We're quick studies.
Yeah, we've been
Oh,
around
man,
with you
yeah,
for a
yeah.
while.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I'm like a one-trick pony. I don't even know if it's a full trick there, but
And the trick is getting everyone back to Timothy, no.
that's correct. Yeah. So we we were talking about Timothy Ngo's golf game in the break there, and
Yeah, one of his buddies chimed in for those listening on WSIC. One of his buddies, his name's Glenn. I was asking Tim what his handicap was, and his buddy was like 40. And then he went like, "That's my dog."
In the military, when you have an affection for someone,
You make fun
pick
of 'em.
on 'em. You
Yeah,
pick-
that's
See,
exactly.
does that make you feel
See?
better, Devin?
Devin,
I mean, you must
Devin, what's your
really
handicap?
like me.
I was going to
here.
say, everyone loves Devin.
Well,
I must be
tell you his
very well
handicap,
liked.
well,
hey,
Oh
so
my gosh.
Tim, you and I had a great phone conversation yesterday, and you shared, we had about an hour-long phone conversation yesterday. And I really appreciate it, and it was great to get to know you through that because I didn't have the privilege of doing that when we were working on your project. But you were sharing with your team leader the Save Your Life, and he was awarded the Silver Star for his actions that day. And unfortunately, his next deployment, he had gotten. Did you say he had gotten out and then re-enlisted and come back
No,
in, or he just
no.
re-upped so he could go back?
He re-upped and said that he had to go finish what he started.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, can you? I mean, and you shared with me that he lost his life on that second deployment, and I thought what was so compelling about all of that is that the guy that meant so much to you, and the way you're staying connected with his family right currently, right?
Yeah.
And share a little bit about that, if you would.
Actually, the end of the month, I'm flying down to Florida to fish with X-22. The Warriors' Next Adventure, they helped create the X-22. And I actually talked to Steve, I forget his last name, but they're linking me up with his son, Bryson Prater. Bryson was 5 when his father was killed in combat, and he looks to me as Superman. And getting him out there is going to mean a lot, because just something that I didn't say was I asked him to re-enlist with me when we were in Iraq, and he said some colorful words. But you'll catch me in the lakes of Tennessee fishing for bass. And that's all his son does. Fishes for bass, goes to college, drives down to Florida, fishes for bass. And it's just, I feel as if that connection is about to be a lot stronger end of this month, because I haven't seen his son since he was 5. But I talked to his son. I talked to his son on the phone, and I know his dad's proud of him. He's grown to be a good man.
Yeah, but I think too, we're really proud of you for maintaining that connection with him over the years, and then taking the time to go down and be present with him, while you're doing not only the thing that he loves, but the thing his dad loved, and that's some meaningful stuff. That's the stuff that good lives are made up of. So thanks for doing that. That's a real really cool thing you're doing. So I think we can all learn a lesson from that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I oftentimes think how people not only view veterans but themselves, their neighbors, right? Just love them a little more, appreciate them a little more, be a little more vulnerable. And I think that's a lesson all of us can take from Tim here, and understanding that, it's really about the person to our left and our right. And it's not just, those that are wearing a uniform or, in combat, but it's about how we treat each other.
So I just got a message from Fenway, who said, Tim, come to North Carolina in July for the Real Heroes Kayak Bass Fishing Tournament, and we will find a kayak for you to fish out of. So it's going to be a pretty big deal. So it's going to be on Lake Norman here, and so that's going to be a great tournament, and it's organized by an amazing young man named John House, who has never done any kind of fundraising before, and just selected us to organize a fishing tournament around it. It's going gangbusters.
That's just amazing. Like when somebody just comes out of the woodwork and says, "Hey,
he's an incredible dude, man.
I think y'all are doing good, and they want to help us out."
Yeah, it's incredible, man. John's an amazing dude. Yeah, he worked in NASCAR for a really long time. Then he got cancer, and had to get out of that. But he's a realtor now, but he is a really good fisherman. And so, Tim, you're cordially invited to come down and hang out with us. That would be great. We'd love to see you if you could.
Okay, I'll check to see what I got going on around that time.
And I hear they might even sometimes do duck hunting from the kayaks while they're fishing at the same time.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's allowed.
That's what I understand.
It's dynamite fishing.
Now I know that's not allowed. Neither
it's
is.
Not? I thought that was.
Neither is a TA-12. Don't ask me how I know that, but if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You're also not allowed to go fishing for seagulls. With it's
Alka-Seltzers. I've never done that before.
No, you're a horrible person, John Gallina. The fact that you even know that, and then just really quickly said, "I've never done that," implies the exact opposite.
Maybe.
I don't know what that is, and I've never done that. I know what that is, and I have done that. So.
There we go. So Tim, what's something you'd like the audience to know? Is there anything that you'd like to share as we start to wrap up?
Which audience? Veterans or
how about a word? How about a word of advice for veterans out there that are struggling, maybe they've been out for a while and are struggling. I heard you say, I normalized my injury and I'm taking care of myself. And could you speak to that quickly before the end of the show?
Yeah. There's always a purpose. You have a purpose. You have to find it. We go through life thinking that we're actually doing what we're supposed to be doing, when it actually we're not really working on ourselves. Something my girlfriend tells me is it's easier to put your issues aside than it is to help others. Or no, to work on yourself. I think I got it mixed up, but it's true. It's true. I put all my issues aside and I helped others, and now I'm finally working on myself. And I have this saying that I started saying, I had a bad day once. Every day after that hasn't been as bad.
That's pretty profound.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, we say that about you and Dale, John. I mean, you know, I think we coined that term a few years ago. It was like y'all's worst day was the best day for a lot of other veterans, and because Purple Heart Homes wouldn't exist if you didn't have that bad day.
Well, and, you know, like Tim said, you know, for a long time it was just about trying to mask the pain and, you know, moving forward, and you know, you find a way to help other people to, you know, kind of make yourself feel a little better, not in the sense of a selfishness, but ignoring your own pains, you know, and at some point you got to start, you know, to help yourself and take care of yourself and get better yourself. And that's hard to do. One
of our commenters on Facebook said, his name's Reed. He said, we're notorious for putting everything before us.
That's right. Speaking of putting others before themselves, you know, I just want to give a quick shout out. We got our golf tournament coming up here, and we got a lot of great people that are out there supporting veterans. And you know, we got let's see here, our title sponsor for the golf tournament is Veterans Guardian, and they're pre-filing consulting firm to help maximize VA disability ratings for honorably discharged veterans. Then we got bronze sponsors, Aero Mechanical Heating and Air, right here local, Concerned Veterans of America, Wiley X Protective Eye Gear, Canon Honey Mill, and Phase 2 Staffing and Contracts.
Those are all new sponsors too.
They are. They're just great Americans want to help veterans. And
That's
so
incredible.
There's help out there. There's good people out there. There's hope out there. And we're just thankful for veterans like Tim and his service and his willingness to share with others his story.
And Tim, thank you for being on the show
you've
today.
been great, brother.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, brother. Yeah, it was awesome. Look forward to seeing you real soon. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together this week. Keep in touch with us on what we're doing at Purple Heart Homes at phhusa.org. Reach out to us, and we'll get back with you. We really are thankful and glad to be able to do this every week. So, y'all have a great weekend. God bless you.
See you next week.
You've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together, brought to you by Purple Heart Homes. Please consider making a donation to this worthwhile cause dedicated to improving the lives of veterans one home at a time by visiting purplehearthomesusa.org. Join us again next Thursday at 3 p.m. for Putting the Pieces Back Together on WSIC News Talk Now.